We begin our report with troops to the border. The Biden administration will deploy an additional 1,500 active duty National Guard members to the southern border to provide operational support to U.S. migration authorities. That's because border authorities are expecting a sharp increase in migrant crossings after the termination of pandemic-era restrictions that sent migrants to Mexico before they could seek asylum. Roughly 2,500 National Guard troops are already at the southern border to support Customs and Border Protection. Weijia Jiang has more details from the White House.
With thousands of migrants arriving at the southern border each day, and that number expected to rise, some of the 1,500 troops could be in place as early as next Wednesday, just one day before Title 42 is lifted.
In light of the changes on May 11th and the anticipated surge, DHS did reach out and request this support.
The soldiers will provide logistical support for 90 days. They will not be processing migrants, and some will be armed for self-defense purposes. The administration is preparing for as many as 10,000 migrants to cross the southern border next week, which would almost double the daily average in March. Recently, more than 7,000 migrants have arrived every day.
Title 42 might as well already have been lifted. And
Texas Republican Tony Gonzalez represents parts of El Paso, which has seen a 130% spike in migrants at the border. Hundreds are sleeping on sidewalks and in alleys, many seeking asylum in the U.S.
And the way this gets solved, it's not by sending U.S. troops at the border to do probably nothing. The administration needs to be sending judges to the border. And these judges need to get these asylum cases heard in days, not years.
On Monday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said he would again send busloads of migrants to Democrat-run cities. The mayors of Chicago and New York City say they have no more room.
What is the administration doing to help state and local governments prepare ahead of the expected influx?
So look, it's unfortunate that Governor Abbott continues to play politics with migrants and with the American people. We have been in touch with state and local governments to help them in any way that we can.
And Weijia Jiang joins me now. Weijia, what's the administration's response to Congressman Gonzalez, who made that point in your piece that troops aren't going to quicken or streamline the operations?
Well, they would argue that that's exactly what they are doing because, they are not there to enforce the law. They are there in a supportive role to allow those Customs and Border Protection agents to do their jobs. If those agents have to focus on things that are administrative in nature, which is what these active duty troops are assigned to do, then there would be a clog, according to the White House, in how fast, how quickly they could move. And with regard to what the congressman was saying about sending judges to the border and not troops, the White House says that they are, in fact, sending judges and lawyers there to help expedite the removal process. They will also have a phone bank set up so migrants can get on the phone and talk to somebody who they can communicate with regardless of what language they speak to answer preliminary questions to see if they can, go on to try to seek asylum. The White House also making the point, John, that for those people who do not qualify, they say they will be quickly removed in a matter of days or weeks. But of course, best laid plans are one thing. We don't know exactly how many migrants are going to show up at the border when Title 42 is lifted. And so the White House says they are prepared. They say they've been preparing for this for well over a year. So we don't know exactly how their plans are going to play out, if it's going to be enough to handle the surge. Republicans would say that they're already failing because of those numbers of those migrants we are already seeing camping out at the border.
May 11th, the date to watch. Weijia, one other question quickly. Republican and Democratic administrations have sent military to the border since 2006. Is there anything different in what the Biden administration is doing than from his predecessors?
Well, as you know, John, Congress has to approve active duty troops serving in any law enforcement capacity. And that is precisely why the White House is very is focusing on the fact that they are not doing that they are simply providing support here. And so with regard to that, it is common because, as you mentioned, other administrations have done the same. But it's different here because the reason why they are expecting the surge, because even though Title 42 has been on the books for decades, since 1944, the Trump administration really implemented it and used it in a way that we haven't seen before to turn away record numbers of migrants. And because the Biden administration continued that, that's why we are seeing now, when it is lifted, so many people trying to take advantage of the policy change. But it is not uncommon, especially for the National Guard, to step in and try to assist the administration. But they want to make very clear, John, that they are not going to be enforcing the law.
Indeed. Weijia Jiang at the White House. Thanks, Weijia.